good morning, or good afternoon, and welcome to Essential Ingredients. I'm your host, Justine Reichman, here on Essential Ingredients, and with me today is Jennifer Roman-Matito, who is the co-founder of Mother's Milk. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. Do you go by Jen or Jennifer? What do you prefer?
Jen is fine. I'm not a Jenny, I'll tell you that.
That didn't even occur to me, to be honest. I'm like, that did not even register. It was either...
I get it very often, actually, and it's a funny joke that we have ongoing that my mother-in-law will only call me Jenny. But it's done in such a lovely, sweet nickname manner that she's the only one that gets away with it.
Alrighty, so I'm going to call you Jen. How's that?
That's perfect. Thank you.
Alrighty. So, for those listening or tuned in today that are not familiar with who you are, would you just introduce yourself, your position, what you do?
Yes. So, Jennifer Roman-Matito. I am a native New Yorker, born and raised in Lower East Side of Manhattan. I identify as a Latina, and I am the co-founder of Mother's Milk, a coconut water cocktail RTD, or ready to drink. We feature, no artificial flavoring, no added preservatives, no added sugar. We are vegan and gluten-free, and we bring you paradise wherever you are.
Wow, it sounds amazing. I can't wait to dig in. And of course, just because when you said you're born and raised in New York City, I don't know if you said the Lower East Side or the East Village, either one. Where was it?
I grew up on Grand Street in the Lower East Side of Manhattan.
Awesome.
A very different Lower East Side than you will see today, I'll tell you that. But yes, my mom and dad still live in the Lower East Side. And when I grew up, when I became a big girl, I made the move to all of one neighborhood over, and I'm still in the East Village.
Like Alphabet City, or are you like sort of just below Soho, NoHo or something? Nolita?
I'm actually in Stuytown, but right on the edge of East Village.
Stuytown, I know it well. I grew up in Peter Cooper.
Amazing. I mean, I feel like I grew up also in Stuytown. I went to high school right on St. Mark's. The school's no longer there anymore, but Notre Dame was an all-girl private Catholic school.
Yeah.
Small. There was only like 50 girls per class. And so 10 of the girls in our class were in Stuytown. And so all of my best friends, I used to hang out in Stuytown and Peter Cooper, and we'd run away from security every time they chase us down because, they really patrol the area. They take their job very seriously.
It's really different there. Even though it was very safe when I grew up, have you ever been into their security system? It looks like one PP.
No, really. It's screens taking over the whole wall. They ring and buzz each other, and it is a real operation.
It really is. Anyway, so now that we connected and everybody knows that we both grew up in New York City, and I grew up in Peter Cooper and you grew up downtown, here we are connecting over food, better for you food, if that. I'd love to know what drew you to this specific area. Like, what was it that brought you here?
So it's pretty simple, actually, right? I used to be a margarita girl. I loved a spicy margarita. I loved the salty tahini rim. I mean, really, it was my drink of choice. And just as I got a little bit older, as I got a little bit mature, as life got a little bit more hectic, and responsibilities start to pile up, and the adulting started to happen, I just truly could not handle the repercussions of a good margarita. I wasn't feeling great. Truly, even sometimes the same night, I would have upset stomachs. The next morning, I'd be slightly hungover or extremely hungover. And I was having physical responses to these particular drinks that were some of my favorites that I was intaking. And then, the pandemic hit, and seltzers and these kind of canned drinks became all the rage. And I was buying into it. I was trying a million different kinds, whatever was available, drinking them at home during our Zoom happy hours, to be honest. It was a funny time. And, it would be a Thursday afternoon, and I'm like, oh, let me just crack open a seltzer. And, I started to connect that, like, I'm really not feeling great immediately that evening or the next day, truly.
I was
And
tired, exhausted. We just don't metabolize it the way we used to. And I think men also metabolize their alcohol differently. So I can completely hear where you're coming from. I'm sure a lot of people can, because as we get older, it's more difficult to maintain that, especially if you don't do it that often, or if you're doing it not quite as regularly as we were when we were younger.
completely. So that's really what sparked my interest in trying different alternative options. And then it really sparked one day when I realized, why am I chugging coconut water the next morning when I'm hungover? Why am I not drinking coconut water in collaboration with whatever alcohol that I was choosing at the moment? And so that is where our remedy drink kind of came to fruition.
Wow. Now I know you mentioned you have a co-founder. So choosing a co-founder is very much like choosing your partner, right? It's really difficult and you want to make sure it's the right person. Can you talk me through how you guys came together? This was obviously, it sounds very much like an idea you came up with. And so I'd love to hear what that journey was like for you.
Well, truly, it was a collaboration effort between the two of us. Christy Kish is one of not only my closest friends, but my business partner. She's the yin to my yang. She's all the things that I'm not, and I'm all the things that she's not. So just right off the back, we have great synergy together. But really, this entire idea of going into business together started summer of 2022. We were actually upstate in the Catskills celebrating my husband's birthday. And so we've got a bunch of our friends at this gorgeous house, and there's this garden of fresh herbs. And we were, drinking all day long, hanging by the pool in the hot tub. And I sent Christy, I said, go make us another one of our remedy drinks, our cocktails. And she came out, and we are mid hot tub. I've got my coconut and vodka with a bunch of like muddled herbs just she threw in there from the fresh garden. And we were just in the hot tub, and we just, all of us kept talking about, oh, this is giving us life. Literally, this coconut water is giving us life right now. And we are tipsy, right? So we're really like just peaking, having the best time. And, just somehow it's giving us life. It's giving us life. It's mother's milk. And it sparked this entire idea. And so the next morning, when everyone else woke up that didn't enjoy some of our mother's milk cocktail recipe, they were not feeling great.
But
They
you
were
were feeling good.
truly, we felt amazing. We were ready for a hike. We were ready to take on the day. And so, really, the exploration into, we have something here and we should really bring it to the market, started that day.
So if we go back, right, you came up with this idea, like so many of us do. We're like, okay, we got this great idea. Was there something specific in your background that you thought could help you do this? Was it just that you are the type of person that takes an idea and runs with it and makes it happen?
I definitely had a light bulb moment. Truly had a light bulb moment. It went off, and I just said, holy moly, like we should can and sell this, right? She's helped develop the recipe. She came up with the name really rather organically, just flew out of her mouth. And so I spent the next 3 to 4 months following that trip, just digging deep, learning about the alcohol industry, learning all the statistics, surrounding conscious drinking, which is an entire segment of the population that just doesn't have enough options out there, in my opinion. And learned about the entire process from, manufacturing, co-packing, formulation, distribution, and then building your brand, right? So I had a hospitality background. I spent years in hospitality in New York City, as well as Christy. A lot of people who put themselves through school end up being in the service industry of some point, working as a bartender or server. And so we both had this background in hospitality, and we had a real just, burn inside of us that we enjoyed food and beverage. And
Mm-hmm.
so it really just happened rather organically with a lot of research, a lot of mentorship, and, birth mother's milk.
So, as we were saying, there's so many different things that happened organically for you, but I imagine that there was also some things that tripped you up, or you had to pull in resources and figure it out, and it wasn't so organic, right? We all have these things where we have to like look at other experts in the industry to figure that out and pull other people in to support us. Can you talk to us a little bit about maybe one of those things that happened for you, one of those moments where you're like, oh no, what are we going to do? Something like that, because, you know, it's fun to start a business. It's exciting. Our adrenaline's going. And from my personality, I'm a fixer. I fix everything. I'm like, I'm going to figure it out. But everybody's different. So I'm wondering how was it like for you in those moments when maybe something caught you off guard?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Those moments happen frequently, right? When you start your own business, a small business, and we've self-funded this entire project out of pocket. We have to date not taken a single investor dollar, and so that is definitely one of the challenges. Right? Is balancing a business that requires so much funding. Truly,
Mhm.
we've been able to do it. I will tell you by the bootstraps. And my business partner has a master's in animation. She's a creative. So we've been very lucky that one of the major challenges that I think a lot of businesses are approached by is just that brand building, right? Even just creating your logo, even just creating your website, even creating a look and aesthetic, some of your pillars, having a partner that is a creative that really can dive deep into those aspects of your business have been amazing. And I'm kind of over here on the sales and operations and more logistical side of things. But I will tell you that on a daily basis, we run into new challenges. We run into new hurdles. One of the new hurdles that we're running into now is growing in new markets without having enough hands available, right? And it is being as strategic as possible in figuring out ways to network and build relationships in cities that I'm not in on a daily basis, right? So that's been one of the major challenges that we're working through now, and a lot of travel is involved there. Also, another major challenge that we've been working through is the fact that only 2% of the total capital investment of 2023 went to female founded businesses. That is just a major hurdle on its own that
But are you
we need
looking
to
for
overcome.
funding and investments? Are you looking for investment now?
Yes. So now we're kind of at the point where we moved past the pilot round. We're going into our next round of manufacturing and co-funding. And so it's figuring out financials. It's figuring out how to do this with a well thought out strategy. It's talking to a million other business owners. It's talking to other mentors in the industry. So I'm not sure if I'm actually answering your question, but I'm bringing up a major point that, we run into a lot of different,
Hurdles.
boundaries,
Yeah.
hurdles.
And you're not alone, right? We're not alone in this. We both have female founded businesses. I think my question for you is, I'm also self-funded. And so what was the moment that you realized, you know what, we really need to take investments? Why did you make that decision?
So we're in the process now of fundraising, and we really wanted to find, or in the process of finding strategic partnerships, right? It's not just necessarily about the money. It's about the reach sometimes.
And the
And
human
so
capital.
there we go. There we go. And so, we've had some conversations where we didn't just want to bring in anyone. We wanted to really be thoughtful about a partnership. We're not interested in just taking money from anyone, right? We're really focusing some of our attention on who actually is willing to come in and support our business, not from a day-to-day operation standpoint, but from an overarching strategy and growth standpoint. And so, that's just a challenge in its own, is making those big decisions.
When you look at these strategic partners, and there's probably a variety that come with different experiences, is there something you're focused on because you need those set of skills?
Yes. So, I'm really good at the day-to-day operations. My business partner's got all the creative, locked down. Truly, she does. It is finding somebody that in an ideal world is more experienced than us in this industry.
So
Someone
within food
else.
and beverage, within food, with like in CPG, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for somebody that's either taken a brand to market and expanded globally or nationally. Would you say
That would
that's
be the
the dream?
ideal fit.
That's the dream.
That's the dream. No, really, truly, that is the dream. We are having conversations with some other potential partners who actually bring other things to the forefront, that just are well connected in other industries, that are now kind of looking to break a bit out of those industries and try something new as well, that has a good amount of drive, a good amount of connections, and funding, that can actually potentially bring another set of eyes and another set of experience to the floor.
Is there one person that you have in mind that you'd love to have come on board and be a strategic partner?
We do have somebody that we're in conversations with right now who has shown great interest. It's actually somebody in the music industry. And so they bring a very different set of eyes, perspective, brand curation, brand strategy, as something that they've done with their artists, right? And it's very much something that they could also do with a brand like Mother's Milk.
Right. So that's equally as important. Even though you have your brand person, you feel like this will take it to another level because they've done it on a larger scale. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes, 100%. Looking at it from the angle of, someone who has taken artists who are no ones, who are on Instagram, and create actual brands out of them. It is a very similar mentality that you would need to creating a community around a lifestyle brand like Mother's Milk.
Right. So it's really about building that community within the brand, finding those people that want to engage, want to learn more, want to drink it, express their interests. Because at first I thought you meant just about the brand, but you really, what I'm hearing, and I just want to clarify, is that yes, it's the brand, but it's the community that you can build, because you want to have a community of people talking about this, trying it, sharing it, doing events with it, all sorts of things. Am I?
100%, you are spot on. We launched our newsletter, which we call Mother Nature's Fan Club.
Oh,
And it is where we are building and curating our community of like-minded, mindful, conscious drinkers. And,
and
go ahead. Yeah.
no, I was going to say, so what about your newsletter? How are you creating this newsletter to attract that audience? What are you doing special?
So we have a few pillars that we really try to highlight in our newsletter, on our social, on our website. Those being nature, wellness, balance, and party, right? And to dig a little bit deeper into each of those. So if we're talking about nature, all of our ingredients in Mother's Milk are given to us by Mother Nature, right?
Right.
If we're digging a little bit deeper into the wellness aspect, we're talking a little bit about how these ingredients are featuring electrolytes, hydration, vitamins, antioxidants, right? And so the wellness aspect is a little bit more mindful about what you're putting inside of your body. And then if we're talking about balance, right? We are conscious drinkers, but who said that we don't like to turn up? And
I
then
do,
if
I want to explore conscious drinking. Maybe not today because we're limited on time, but I'd love to bring you back and just have an episode on what is conscious drinking. And maybe you could just give us a little small definition as to what is conscious drinking.
Yeah. So if you're, here's how I would quickly define conscious drinking. It is an entire segment of the drinking community that just cares a little bit more about what they're putting inside of their bodies.
I love that. I love that.
It's
That's so,
pretty,
it's
pretty
pretty
simple and
straightforward.
straightforward. Yes.
It's pretty straightforward. So what can we see on the horizon for you in the next, year or two? Do we have
So
any,
we've
do you
got
have any more products coming out?
So we've got some big goals, and I actually get that question very often: is, are you going to come up with more options for
Other
mother's milk
flavors?
and other flavors? Yes, very often. And the plan as of right now is to focus on the brand that we have right now. Is to putting cans in hands and sips to lips is really my motto. We want to really just get people to recognize that there are better for you options in the alcohol world. And it's very limited, truly, but there is a massive need and gap. And that's actually why we decided to get into this business in the first place, is that when we went out there looking for what we wanted and what we needed, it just didn't exist. So,
And to that
launched
point,
Mother's Milk. Mm-hmm.
I love that. And what I'm wondering is, just to circle back to your last comment, is are there any hard-hitting statistics that showcase the impact of alcohol on humans, as we go on, how we metabolize it, how we feel? And have you done any, if you will, focus groups or anything to see the impact on your groups and how that compares?
So we've had large and small groups test out our product and give us some feedback. One of our largest events that we did a sampling at is Seltzerland, which is about 1,500 attendees. They come and they're just able to taste a variety of different products, old and new, all available on the market. Our feedback consistently was, one, this tastes like vacation. This tastes like paradise. So we're like, yes, we're winning there. People love the way we taste. But two, we got a lot of feedback that people were like, I feel great. I feel more awake. I feel more alive. And that's consistently the feedback that we've gotten across the board. And so education is key. Just bringing to the forefront that, you can still get your buzz on while having a better for you option. And, our entire stick is that we're jamming you packed with electrolytes and hydration while we're getting you boozy AF.
Awesome. Jen, thanks so much for joining me today. I loved learning about Mother's Milk. Can't wait to try it myself. And we look forward to having you back on here to learn and talk more about conscious drinking.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for having us. Please follow us at Drink Mother's Milk on Instagram. Subscribe on our website, drinkmothersmilk.com. And DM us if you're interested in trying our product, and we'll let you know where you can find it.
That was my last question is, so for those folks interested in purchasing your product, where can they get it?
So right now we're located at Astor Wines in Soho, Manhattan, is our real big hub in the New York City marketplace.
They also mail stuff when
They
you
do.
can.
They are direct to
They have
consumer. You can
shipments.
order online. Yes. Also Total Wine. You can find us at multiple locations, and you can also order from totalwines.com.
Awesome. Congratulations, Jen. I can't wait to follow along and see how things progress.
Thank you so much, Justine. Take care.